Hey everybody, and welcome to the Exposition Table. I'm your host Joe,
And I'm your other host, Dan.
and we will be talking about a very special system, the Wii U.
Wii U. Our
Yep,
enthusiasm knows no bounds. Yeah, so let's paint the picture for you guys. It was the end of the decade. The 2010s were rolling in. The Wii was on its way out. It was a very successful generation for Nintendo. They learned a lot about success, but they also took a lot of interesting lessons from the Nintendo's Blue Ocean strategy. And yeah, it definitely created an interesting playing field when the Wii U was announced.
the Blue Ocean strategy, by the way, is when Nintendo pivoted towards casual audiences during the Wii era.
Y'all, if you remember the We Would Like to Play, Wii Sports, Beyonce advertising, Nintendogs. I mean, we're going to talk about the handheld stuff a little bit as well, primarily focused on the consoles, but it is important for building the narrative that both the DS and the Wii were huge in bringing many people into gaming. At least 5. And those people would eventually go and probably start doing, gaming that they never would have done before, bringing a whole new casual market to it. And the Wii U was really primed to try to take what they did before with the DS and the Wii and create something that can appeal to everybody.
And
Although they really stated early on that they were going to be appealing for the hardcore gamer. They were going to go back to the roots and really appeal to the gamer's gamer.
and as it turned out, a few things about that kind of backfired. Those casual audiences, many of them, particularly with the Wii, weren't the kind of customers that would actually stick around for a new machine.
Yeah, so Nintendo had to really lean into their hardcore demographic and the core gamers in order to stick around. Most of the people who bought the Wii's casually really didn't buy a lot of software. They maybe picked up Mario Kart or something, Smash Brothers, some chicken farm game on the Wii. Chicken Shoot, that was what it was called.
Yeah.
Anubis 2. Get some of those all-time classics. But they weren't really like playing large quantities of games, and that really was evident by the end of the Wii's era, where a lot of the big software was kind of just getting put under the radar. Skyward Sword, I know, was very. It was a very overlooked Zelda game. Like, not many people were really that talking about it. For all its issues, Metroid Other M, kind of didn't sell crazy. Like, the steam ran out on the Wii, so it was time for them to get back underway.
Yeah, that new audience they got off the Wii really didn't stick around.
Yeah. And do you remember the Wii U, the E3 trailer that we all saw? What were your initial thoughts on the thing, Joe?
I don't really
When you
remember the initial trailer.
Well, I mean, irregardless, what were your initial thoughts on the Wii? I'll talk about it. The original Wii U trailer, they showed it off, and the first thing that everybody thought was, is this a Wii add-on? That was the moment the Wii U died. Was the E3 trailer where they showed off the Wii U being used as a Wii. It looked like an accessory because the first game they showed it off with was Wii Sports Club.
Yeah.
They showed it off being used with baseball for the umpire. They showed it off being used. I distinctly remember putting it on the floor and using it as a golf, where you put the tee for golf.
Yeah.
And a lot of other stuff like this. Showed off some proto Nintendo Land stuff. But the key thing that everyone took away from the Wii U is this a Wii accessory? Because you gotta remember, by the end of the Wii, they were just pumping out accessories left and right. The Wii Zapper, the Wii Fit, the Wii Vitality sensor that never came out. They were just slapping Wii onto everything. They were putting their Wii on everything.
Yeah, really swinging that Wii around.
Yeah.
So.
But.
So now that it's finally time to move on, it's like, people were
It
either
wasn't.
just confused or underwhelmed.
Yeah, and it wasn't even just the casuals. Like, of course, Grandma's not gonna know that the Wii U is not just another add-on to the Wii Fit. Uh, they, the hardcore gamers or the regular gamers didn't even know. It doesn't look. If you look at the Wii U console, it looks basically like a Wii. It's the same freaking box. It looks the same. The Wii U is not a good name in any context. The naming scheme of the Wii is that you're inviting people to play with you. It is a social game. It is a communal game.
Yeah.
Wii U is then putting it back onto you. But it's also a social console because the Wii U tablet allows you to have an additional player on. For certain games, you can use the Wii U tablet as an extra fifth player, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But so it's about you, but it's also about Wii. So it's about everybody. So it's like the name doesn't even work. The marketing doesn't even work for it. But yeah, I'll never forget that particular trailer. Just like I knew it was a new console, but I understood why a lot of people weren't, and I was not impressed at all. I had no interest in picking it up. I need to see what games were going to be coming out.
Yeah, it wasn't a particularly strong first impression.
Nah. And that impression would stagger throughout the entire generation. Joe, when did you get your Wii U?
2013, around the summer.
So you got it. You were a relatively early adopter. That was like in the first year. What compelled you to get a Wii U?
Pikmin 3 came out.
What games did you pick up with your Wii U? I need to ask this because I didn't get my Wii U during the console cycle of the Wii U, so I don't know what an average Wii U-ian would have been buying or thinking about.
Well, at launch, I just got Pikmin 3, and it came bundled with Super Mario 3D World.
Yeah. That's crazy, though, to think they had 2 Mario games in, like, the first year. That normally would be great, but I don't know, that almost screams, like, desperation. That's just weird. That's weird.
It is weird. It's weird that
2 main Mario games in such a short time.
That was also at the time where Mario, in particular, is a very fatigued franchise.
Oh man, yeah, dude, I remember I was getting sick of seeing everything look like that kind of Mario, and that really bled into Nintendo as a whole at that time. It really just felt like Nintendo was going for they were still appealing casual, but it felt like they were really starting to dumb down some of their IP, especially in their marketing. When you watch some of the Wii U commercials, it kind of felt like you were looking at like a theme park almost, but not in the sense of like, oh, the excitement and the adventure, but like everything feels staged and plasticky and fake. And like that's how it really felt with like Mario in particular, because they would always use Mario for branding for the Wii U, and like it just felt especially hollow this time. I think in part due to partially the games just not being the most exciting, but more of the point, just the way they were advertising everything, it just rubbed everyone the wrong way.
Yeah.
It permeated the whole generation. They really leaned into Mario that gen, but it was for some of the most vanilla milquetoast titles. I do want to apologize to Mario 3D World. We were too harsh on you at the time, but it's not entirely your fault. We were just coming off of New Super Mario Bros. Wii. We were coming off Mario Sports Mix. We were coming off some very mediocre 3DS titles. I think Mario Golf may have come out around then, or Mario Tennis. One of the really generic Mario 3DS games. New Super Mario Bros. 2. Like, we were just getting sick of very bland, very safe Mario. So headlining your Wii U with a game that, again, if you don't game, Like, if you looked at New Super Mario Bros. U running on the Wii U, how would you know that's not New Super Mario Bros. Wii on the Wii? They look identical.
Yeah, that's just I don't know, it's just a weak start and just an unfortunate early lineup.
Yeah. Especially not helped by some of the strange marketing decisions they had early on. Have you guys watched some of those old commercials for the Wii U? They're pretty cringe.
Time to upgrade to Wii U.
With Wii U, we can play Super Mario 3D World.
Find secrets with the Wii U gamepad.
And did we mention togetherness?
Just check out the simulation.
Whoa.
I look good.
Look at that. Yeah, I look like I've been upgraded.
Get the gift of family when you upgrade to Wii U for $299.99. Game rated E for everyone.
Remember when the Wii advertised and it was like adults and it was cool and like, well, I mean it was cool in like the Nintendo sense, but like you had the very flavorful Japanese music, or the very Japanese style music in the background with We Would Like to Play and all that, and that really sold the console, you know? It struck you, it made it feel unique, it pulled you into its world. They had cool games they were advertising, like Twilight Princess and Red Steel. You know, disregard the actual quality of Red Steel, but Red Steel was a great commercial game for the sense of being in commercials. Nintendo Land ain't gonna be doing that, you know?
Yeah, I look like I've been upgraded.
Like, by the Wii U, it was like they were just appealing to children. And yes, Nintendo is primarily a game system aimed more for families and kids, but like, it really feels like with the Wii U, they were trying to pull the family element out and really lean back into the children. The commercials were not the whole family gathering together. It was the kids need to convince the parents to buy the console for the children so the children can play by themselves.
Yeah, this was like the first time in kind of ever where the marketing seemed to be specifically for children and not for, you know, like anyone who plays video games.
Hot button popcorn, that's a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least not since the 90s, and that was also, I mean, that was more of like a, you know, games were for kids kind of thing, and more like, you know, appeal to, when I say kids, for like the N64 and Super Nintendo, I mean like they had like 12 to 14-year-olds, so they'd be like kids older than the primary demographic of like 6 to 10-year-olds, so it's like kids who are like cool and edgy and all that, and counterculture and all that, and to hell with the adults and all that. But here it was like, no, you need to beg your parents to go buy it for you. It was very odd.
Yeah, very odd choice.
Although you could say, going into it, they definitely upgraded their marketing with the one of the worst marketing campaigns they ever decided to do. Joe, do you remember? It's now been 10 years since the year of Luigi.
The year of Luigi. Was that like 2013?
It was either 12 or 13. No one cares. It's the year of Luigi. No one wants to remember it. Probably 12 because the new Super Mario or Super Mario 3D World came out the same year. But the year of Luigi.
No,
Lost Nintendo money.
It was 2013 because I remember New Super Luigi U, Dr. Luigi,
Dr. Luigi.
and actually, I'm not. Did Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon come out in 2013?
I think it was advertised around that time, or maybe they just reprinted copies or something. I don't know. It was in tandem with it. I think it was like very, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's not relevant to this conversation. We'll put an editor's note if we feel like it. Point being is that they focus their marketing around fucking Luigi. And we love Luigi. Everyone loves Luigi. Can't go wrong with a Luigi. What you can do is focus an entire year, again, around like really strange, like childish marketing campaigns that don't really, you know, if you're not a Luigian, what are you going to be excited about that year? Like, yeah, they had other games released, but like when you spend an entire year focused on one character for the majority of your marketing, it's just dumb.
Who would have thought
It doesn't.
that the year of Luigi would have resulted in a big L?
But like, and then after that, like, it almost seems like they started off kind of stumbly. They didn't continue to follow through with any efficient marketing, and then it feels like the year Luigi was like one of the last big years they even had for marketing. It feels like halfway in they kind of just gave up. Like,
yeah, that's a big recurring theme of the Wii U, is that honestly it feels like most of Nintendo's franchises were kind of on autopilot for this generation.
yeah, like the last big marketing push I can really think of that the Wii U even got was like the amiibo craze, and we'll get to more of that in a little bit. But like, but that's not even marketing the console. That's marketing toys that you used to buy with the console. The Wii U it ran out of steam. It ran out of anything.
It didn't really
died.
it didn't have a good pitch.
Yeah, like
It's like the core/hardcore gaming demographics. Like, they weren't going to be convinced by a weak console like the Wii U.
yeah, the piss poor attempts of appealing to the hardcore gamers was, yo, we're gonna put Mass Effect 3 on this console, not 1 and 2, 3. After 3 already came out on the other consoles.
It was
We're gonna
already a controversial release.
Oh, I mean, yeah, but like, we'll put one of the Arkham games like a year or so after it came out on Xbox 360 and PS3. Like, bro, like,
Ooh.
they weren't appealing to that demographic. I think they only got like one Call of Duty on it. They just weren't getting that audience, and the audience who bought the Wii, the parents and the grandparents and all that, what the hell were they gonna do with a Wii U gamepad? I don't think Grandma can even hold the Wii U gamepad. It'd break her damn wrist. What the hell is she gonna do with that? Where's the Wii? Where's Wii Sports? Or it's like, I don't need another Wii Sports. I already have the same Wii Sports. I don't need another Wii Sports. Maybe if they had put Wii Sports Club in with the Wii U, maybe the console would have done better. But that's another interesting business model decision they decided to do. Wii Sports Club. The guaranteed game to get people in was like a weird live service attempt or something. Like, it's funny how much games would kind of do this now, but it was so weird back then that they sold you a game piecemeal. Like, it's funny because now that's like the norm for game companies to do, especially now Nintendo, funny enough. Like, this almost seems like the predecessor to all of their Mario sports games or Nintendo Switch Sports, where they would just give you a game and then release it bit by bit, except there, you had to buy all the stuff individually.
Yeah,
like,
and this is Nintendo. Like, they're usually known for being behind the times.
yeah. They're usually, at least at this time, they weren't known for gouging their audiences so excessively. They were usually the ones who you could... You know, back when the biggest controversy about DLC was that they were charging like $2 or $3 for a costume in Street Fighter 2 HD. You know, that was how controversial DLC was back then. And Nintendo was like, yo, you can buy this sport for $10, or you can buy a subscription to this sports game. So that was weird.
The 3DS launch got Nintendo real grumpy, and then they just decided it's time.
Oh yeah, you know what was one of the other really dumb decisions early on that really fucked with the whole flow? Joe, have you ever seen a white Wii U?
I think I've only seen them in stores. Like, on this, like kiosks.
Yeah. Not a single real gamer is gonna buy the vanilla one that cost $50 less and did not come with a video game. I'm pretty sure I'm correct on that. Didn't the 8GB model not come with a game?
Yeah, 8 gigabytes.
Versus the deluxe edition for $32, which came with Nintendo Land. I might be wrong. The 8 GB might have come with Nintendo Land, but I swear to God, I thought it didn't come with it. So it's like, why would you not buy that version? Like, if it's all these little things. If they had just started out and made the Wii U a black console, and made the, put in all the marketing the Wii U being the black console, and then have the white be like, a different version. But the fact they leaned into the white version, again, is the whole Wii versus Wii U. Imagine, if you will, a universe where they just fucking put the black console in all the commercials. Like, imagine how many more units they could have sold. They could have easily cleared like another 2 million units had they just, because people would know it's a different console.
Yeah.
Yes, there were black Nintendo Wiis, but primarily you didn't see black Nintendo Wiis in the commercials. You usually saw the white ones.
Yeah, play up it being a different experience.
Yeah. At least then you'd have people thinking it's a PS3 at the bare minimum. And then you're at least partially there, because then you get people saying, why has Mario Kart got the PS3? No, Grandma, that's the Wii U. So, it's all these little things. All these little things that really hemorrhage the success of the console. The gamepad,
The gamepad
infamously.
was like the whole thing with the Wii U, and it's almost universally seen as one of those mid-gimmicks ever devised for a console.
It's a gimmick that actively makes the console experience worse, because half the time you have to use the tablet and it pulls you out of the game, or it takes RAM, like processing power, away from the game.
It's just a goddamn pain.
Yeah, it's a big old tumor on the console, It does not, there are some experiences that are made better with it, but at the same time, was it worth it? Why did Nintendo have to Nintendo? I feel like they wanted to appeal to the DS crowd and the Wii crowd at the same time. We're like, man, we got 2 popular consoles. What if we combined them?
Yeah, it feels, the gamepad is so niche in its benefits. It seems almost laughable looking back.
And that shit had a terrible battery life, so every time you did want to use it, you had to wait for your fucking controller to charge. If you didn't have that shit plugged in all the time, you had to spend your first, imagine you only had an hour to play, games for the night or something, but you get home, you didn't plug in your gamepad, and you're waiting 10 freaking minutes for that thing to at least charge enough to play,
Yeah.
There's definitely appeal to the Wii U gamepad. I certainly could imagine a scenario where if I was younger, I would have been playing that thing, all the time, sitting in the dining room, or, parents are watching TV, I want to play. There's certainly merit to the gamepad. I don't want to discount that. For a lot of kids, that would have been, amazing, especially if you didn't have an iPad, or a phone or something like that. I remember, in 2011 or 12 or whenever the Wii U came out, iPhones were still very new. I don't even know if the iPad was out yet. But, it was not something everybody had in their house.
Yeah.
So, there was novelty. I don't discount the fact that they did it, because I could see why they did it. It's just all of the little things. The gamepad wouldn't be this all-encompassing issue with it had all the other elements sort of lined up in the place. It would have been it'd be like how the Switch is now, where we accept the Switch isn't very strong, but it makes up for it by having a simple, straightforward, user interface. It just plays the games. It's not very powerful, but it does exactly what it wants you to. Yeah. Portability, it makes up for its lack of power.
Yeah. But the Wii U is also weak for its time, and it's semi-portable-ish.
It's like if you took an Xbox 360, strapped a Zune to it, that's the extra power it has.
Yeah. It's just not a very good trade-off.
No. Because the PS4 and Xbox One were less than a year away, right?
Like
They
about
were very
yeah.
close. Yeah, they were very close. This was not a very good. This is, I would actually say, even worse than like the time window for when the Dreamcast came out, because at least by the point the Dreamcast was coming out, like the Wii U, it's like Nintendo knew that the PS4 and the Xbox One were going to be coming out. Nintendo obviously knew that they were going to be having some stiff competition. Like,
yeah, they released at a point where they had an entire year to kind of build up faith in the Wii U before the next generation came storming in.
Yeah.
And they certainly did not get enough momentum.
Yeah. You have to do pretty bad to do worse than a console everybody was boycotting.
Yeah, that Dreamcast analogy feels kind of perfect.
Yeah. Like, except for the fact that Nintendo was able... Nintendo really suffered a lot during that era. They, a lot of their higher-up CEOs cut their paychecks, all took, pay cuts, like, keep employees. If Nintendo didn't have all that capital from the Wii, things could be very different. Things would have been very different. Despite how big they are now and how prominent they are, Nintendo is constantly going up and down in terms of, like, successes and losses.
Yeah.
Like, it seems crazy to think, but if the Wii U was even worse of a disaster, had the Wii not been so successful, and had the Switch not come in and, like, taken them to all new heights, who knows where we'd be in Nintendo. I'm not saying they go third party, but there's a non-zero chance that if the Switch failed because of the Wii U's disastrous failure, that could have been an option. Like I said, not likely, but a non-zero chance that things could be very different because of how much of a failure the Wii U was. But hey, a console's not just the complete failure of its existence. You have to actually put things on it. So, how will we take a little bit and talk about some of the Wii U's defining games? Some of the games that stick out most to us. I'm not going to go through everything. We're not going to talk about... Neither of us has played Xenoblade Chronicles X. I'm certainly not going to talk about Game & Wario, Kirby, Rainbow Curse. There's some cool games on there. But we're going to talk about the ones that we actually have something to say. How about those launch games? Nintendo Land and New Super Mario Bros. U.
Nintendo Land is such an interesting... Not even that interesting. Like, I heard surprisingly good things about it. But, like, not a whole lot of people really, like, tried it out. And it was seen as, despite being a pack-in title, kind of a hidden gem-ish.
Amazing how it's hidden. It's hidden like finding water in the Atlantic. Yeah. Everyone had a copy of Nintendo Land. It's just most people didn't want to play it.
It looks like shovelware garbage that permeated the Wii.
Yeah, people appreciate it in hindsight for it, but
at the time, going off the Wii, I'm pretty sure the last thing a Nintendo fan wanted to see was a minigame collection.
Yeah, and like the minigames were okay, but I just can't see a reason why anyone would want to actually... It doesn't instill faith. It's like... It feels like... This is going to be a weird analogy. It feels like Nintendo Land did everything wrong that Astro's Playroom did right for the PS5. Like... And that's like a free download. But like that's like a full game, like a full experience. Use every feature on your console, but it's actually a fun video game.
Yeah.
And like, Astro's Playroom is a completely free game. Nintendo Land you could still buy for money. Like, you could buy that thing for money after the fact. Feel like, oh man, I really gotta get that Nintendo Land. I mean, to be fair, this is the last F-Zero game, so.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like a lot of the people who were defending Nintendo Land at the time were really suffering a hard case of the copium.
Yeah, they really wanted to make the Wii U look better.
I mean, if you bought Nintendo Land, like, you would want to justify your purchase. Or you bought the Wii U, you want to justify your purchase, you know? It's like... Yeah, it's like, you know it's not Wii Sports. It's not as good as Wii Sports at being what it... Like, Wii Sports... There's something so specific about that first time you open up your Nintendo Wii and you play Wii Sports, you know, with friends or family, or even just by yourself. It's a very specific feeling that, like, you can't replicate it anymore, but it draws you in. I mean, yeah, I guess if you know, open up the Wii for the first time in, like, half a decade or so and you bring out Wii Sports, it still pulls you in. It's still just this evergreen experience that, like, is perfect exactly at what it is. Nintendo Land is all this little bullshit. It's all weird little mini games that are so specific for different franchises, and it just... Maybe you could argue there's more depth in some of the mini games and some of the stuff in Wii Sports, but it lacks that simplicity. It's just not, like, as interesting. Like, you swing a remote and it does the same thing as your hand. Like, you swing and the baseball bat hits the bat. That's a lot more... For 2006, that's a lot more interesting than I would say in 2013. Fuck it, I don't even know. Use, like, the gamepad and, like, you can see where your ship's moving around. I almost think, like, the fact the 3DS came out a year ago and also had the gyro stuff almost, like, took a little of the wind out of the sail. Because, it's like, that had Face Raiders on 3DS, and I would say that's a much better tech demo than all of Nintendo Land, covering everything the 3DS can do. And then you look at the Wii U and it does that. It's like, yeah, now you can do that on a console.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's just, frankly, I think the game looks kind of ugly. I don't know. I'm a big fan of Nintendo Land's art style. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure that the Nintendo Landians are gonna be right on us in the comments, but I just wasn't. I don't think it's a particularly great pack-in title. Like. Nah, it doesn't. It's fine. It's not bad. It's just not like you're living up to Wii Sports. Like that's a hard measure to follow, and like, yeah, it doesn't hit the landing. But then again, how do you sell the Wii U? You know, you can't pack Zombie U in as a launch title or as a pack-in title, even though that probably is like one of the best uses of the gamepad. I haven't played it myself, but seeing some of the gameplay, I think that game, if that could have been the pack-in title, maybe it would have helped. You know?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure as fuck New Super Mario Bros. U is not going to be a compelling title to tell you why the Wii U is great. Yo, you can put blocks in it! What's a Mario game where you can add blocks?
Yeah, that was like the last thing the Mario series needed at that moment.
It's actually, now that I'm mentioning that, it's kind of funny that the game before his whole gimmick was coins. Mario U's gimmick is like, the gimmick isn't even blocks, but it's like, you just put the blocks there. They didn't even give a narrative reason why you could put blocks in there. Like, they couldn't have just had some magic explanation that Kamek put a hex on you and now blocks can appear or something. I don't know, something. You didn't even contextualize the Wii U gimmick in your flagship Mario game. And then again, with the Wii U, they didn't freaking... With Mario 3D World... I'm moving on, because what do you have to say about New Super Mario Bros. U, Joe?
Yeah, go on. We've got some games to talk about.
I ain't saying shit. It's a good game. Again, one of those... In hindsight... Now on the Switch, I can appreciate it. At the time, it's like, what the fuck is this? Dude.
Yeah.
New Super Mario Bros. 2 wasn't even cold in the ground, wasn't even decaying yet. It wasn't even in the ground before New Super Mario Bros. U already came out. Mario 3D World is a victim of severe circumstance. Again, Mario 3D Land on the 3DS wasn't even in the ground yet. And Mario 3D World...
A year old?
Like a year like a year old or something. It was the launch title. Maybe that's another thing to briefly talk about. Maybe they released the Wii U too soon after the 3DS. And that's a weird thing to say. But like...
The 3DS was also released too early.
Yeah. Maybe if they came out around the same time, it wouldn't seem so much... Because that's a weird thing that we're going to get to talking about with at least one or two games, is that maybe if they just waited a year for the 3DS, instead of these games feeling like they're competing, it could feel like they're releasing in tandem. I know it's historically dubious to release a console game and a handheld game the same day, but I don't know. If you release New Super Mario Bros. 2 and New Super Mario Bros. U the same day, you release Mario 3D Land and Mario World the same day, maybe it wouldn't feel so much like you're getting a HD version of a handheld game, and instead feel like you're getting a companion game for both. I don't know. Maybe it would have sold worse, but I don't know. It just makes it look... Maybe it was necessary for the Wii U to burn so the 3DS could thrive and survive. Because the 3DS is keeping the freaking lights on and with Nintendo.
Which is funny
during that era.
Funny to say.
Because that thing was dying early on.
Something about the late 2000s, early 2010s had Nintendo spooked.
Yeah, they really fumbled the bag.
The late Wii and how much momentum was just kind of lost.
Yeah.
Just spooked Nintendo into releasing these systems early.
Yeah. I mean, I think the 3DS was just a very strange launch. I don't necessarily think it was the hardware was released too early. I think they had the Sega Saturn problem of putting it out before there were games actually to play. Yeah. And like a lot of game consoles come out without games to play, and sure, you can play DS games on the 3DS, but I mean, you can also get DSs for like $100 by that point, so why would you spend $250 to buy a 3DS? Especially when the DSi XL just came out the year before. No, we're talking about the Wii U. Alright, point is, like, Nintendo was fumbling the bags everywhere, and ironically, they took drastic measures to get the 3DS to be affordable and keep shit moving. And I'm fairly critical of the 3DS era. I'm not, like, the biggest fan of it, but I won't lie and say it wasn't, like, successful for them.
Yeah.
You can't make that lie up about the Wii U. The Wii U was not a success. They fucked up almost every decision they could have made with that console.
Okay, so, fast forwarding to 2013.
Yeah, moving past the launch stuff, moving into some other big games. I know that you wanted to talk about this one in particular.
Yeah, like, the whole reason I got the Wii U was because of Pikmin 3, which was a long time coming at that point. And I would say, like, not sure if it's my favorite Pikmin game, but I quite like it. I actually wasn't that big of a fan of it at the time, but rather came to appreciate it later on. Ironically, after it was re-released on the Switch, but I don't think that's the Wii U's fault.
I mean, that's gonna be like half the games we talk about. I've already said it like twice now. The Wii U the Switch made me appreciate it. So, just assume if it has a Switch port, we're probably implying that the Switch version made us appreciate the game.
Much like its evolutionary predecessor, the Dreamcast, a lot of its titles will become greater appreciated when they're put onto a later system.
Yeah, the Dreamcast, like all those games I played on GameCube, and I love them because they're GameCube games to me. Do you have more to say about Pikmin 3?
I mean, it's probably like one of the games that use the gamepad the best.
Yeah. It definitely seemed like
it's a real-time strategy game, so it better be good with the gamepad.
Yeah. You can't afford to have a control input not working well in a real-time strategy game. For the notes that we wrote down, I forgot to mention this game. And it's like the best-selling game on the console. Because again, much like we're talking about, the Switch version completely overwrites it. I forgot Mario Kart 8 came out on the Wii U.
Yeah,
I completely forgot. It got completely overshadowed in my mind by the Switch port. Mario Kart 8, tight. It's HD Mario Kart, fine. it doesn't have a good battle mode. The battle mode's fucking terrible in this game. I don't know. I'm pretty mixed on it, but for Wii U standards, it's pretty good.
Yeah, and wasn't the battle mode like even worse on the Wii U version?
Well, that's what I'm saying. The Wii U version. I'm not talking about the Switch version. The Wii U battle mode was just on normal racetracks.
Yeah.
So like, imagine trying to like take out opponents, but you're like driving on a loop or like a circle 8 or like a weird squiggly oval.
This doesn't seem like a move that was made on purpose. It was made. It feels like a sign of perhaps a rushed development cycle due to a system that's not performing well.
Very possible. But you get some nice memes back then, Luigi Death Stare and all that, but yeah, I have no personal real attachment to Mario Kart 8, especially considering I barely played the thing on Wii U, if at all. I don't even know if I played it.
I bought it, I think you were over at that time. It was like a stormy winter night or something. Like, I bought it.
Oh yeah, I do remember. I think like the one time I played on Wii U was like that night at your house.
Yeah, like I think I played it for like a couple hours and then
bounced off.
Bounced off. I regret spending that $60, but yeah, and I didn't get it when it came around again.
Oh, don't worry, Joe. We'll regret spending more money on these games going forward. Oh, that's another thing. The Wii U games were $60 now. Yeah, the Wii games were $50. The Wii was the last console to have $50. Probably because the Wii's basically a souped up PS2. But yeah, the Wii U, now you're paying $60 for this shit.
Yeah, this would basically be the last time I'd go on my way to buy a racing game in general. Just because of me not really being around enough people as the online era would push on. So yeah, no, the point being is that Mario Kart 8 just, I don't know, I tried it, it just wasn't the right time or place.
Yeah, no, Mario Kart, it just wasn't something that really gravitated for either of us. I enjoyed a lot of Mario Kart Wii, but I just, in particular, even it being at Joe's house, I wasn't gonna be playing Mario Kart 8. It just wasn't clicking with me. Wasn't vibing it very much.
Yeah, because
luckily
I played
we
the
wouldn't...
shit out of Mario Kart 8. The Wii, not 8.
It's all good, Joe. I'll tell you a game we were playing the shit out of on the Wii U. I almost said the Wii. The game we were playing the shit out of on the Wii U. One game I will always have some fond memories of that launch. Smash.
Oh yeah, so Smash 4 was a very, very well, it's by far my most played Wii U game.
Yeah. I played the shit out of that game at your house.
Yeah.
That was a very interesting time in my life. But yeah, I was going ham on Smash for Wii U. This is a scalding hot take. I like Smash for Wii U more than Smash Ultimate. I do not think it is a better game, but I don't know, I just like it more. Something about it clicks with me more. I definitely put more hours into Smash Wii U on a freaking game console that wasn't even mine, in a house that wasn't even mine, than on Smash Ultimate for a console I own that's in my own house.
Well, as a fighting game, it's as good as the environment is around you for enjoying it.
Yeah. And at that time, we had a lot of people rotating in and out to play Smash for Wii U. So, but Smash could have been on a fucking toaster, and it would have been, you know, the game we'd all be playing. So, it's not because of the Wii U that necessarily was that. It just so happened to be the Smash game on the Wii U that was new at the time, so we were all playing it.
Yeah.
So.
In hindsight, it is kind of seen as, like, if not the weakest, like, the least noteworthy Smash game.
Yeah, it's not a particularly special one, but I still have a lot of fondness for it.
Yeah. Smash is Smash.
Smash is Smash!
Like,
real quick, let's take a quick stroll down the memory lane, Joe. Remember all those reveals? Remember those characters? Yo, my freaking language arts teacher let us watch the Smash trailers in school at the time when they were showing them, and he played the Mega Man and the Pac-Man, the Wii Fit. No, Pac-Man was later. The Wii Fit. All those trailers is like, bro, it was lit at that time. Smash trailers were hype in the Brawl days, but it felt like we were entering a whole new era of hype during the Wii U era. It was fun, and the Wii U, Smash kind of like carried the Wii U through the rest of its console life because basically the minute the DLC was done, the Switch was out.
Yeah, because none of those later releases were gonna do it.
Yeah. But no, I still have a lot of fondness for Smash for Wii U. I'll never forget the time that you, me, and our other pal, who we haven't decided yet if we're going to start naming other people casually in our lives, so we're just going to say other person, went and we got Smash Wii U and Pokemon Oras. That was a crazy weekend.
That was a crazy weekend. And we were like just at my house because we just beat Tales of Xillia 2.
Yeah, dude, that was a night, man.
Yeah, that was a packed night.
We literally finished the final boss of Xillia 2 right before going out to go to the Smash and Pokemon Oras midnight. And then that was our whole weekend, man. That was crazy fun. Yeah. That was a time. And while we're kind of going linearly, I will talk about the amiibo. I will talk about them. They're an important part of the narrative. But for now, I want to kind of cover some of the other games. There's not really a whole lot of other big games for us to really talk about on the console. Just to kind of go through some of them real quick. I played a little bit of Bayonetta. Mostly I played Bayonetta 2 on Switch. But, you know, solid game. It was cool to see a game like that come out on a Nintendo console and be sort of a big title. Splatoon was a big game as well for the Switch. I never played the Wii U version of it, but
Splatoon
it was like a pretty
was the Wii U's sole contribution to society.
Pretty much, yeah. I would say it was like the biggest impact, and yeah, it was basically the Splatoon machine. It still is kind of the Splatoon machine. There's still online servers you can find, or still matches people are making of it. I love the aesthetic. It was definitely... If I owned a Wii U, I probably would have bought Splatoon. But yeah, that's definitely a game that if I was like a kid and like the Wii U was like my main console, I probably would have put a lot of hours into Splatoon.
Yeah.
I still put a lot of hours into Splatoon 2 when I eventually got it. But yeah, that was a really good time. What was not a good time? Let's get a little negative here. Joe, Star Fox Zero, go.
Yo,
you own this one.
Star Fox Zero is... Oh, God. Like, that game is actually painful to play.
Yeah, we did a co-op. Star Fox Zero lets you play co-op, where one person controls the ship and the other person controls the gun. And yet, I still think that's the most optimal way to play, because trying to play it any other way is just ludicrous.
And constantly...
We did a whole playthrough of that game, right? Was it a whole... I don't know, we played a lot of it. I don't know if we actually beat it.
We beat it. I remember that, because I remember James McLeod constantly telling you to trust the view of your cockpit, because constantly, that game's trying to convince itself that its control scheme is not terrible.
Yeah. It ain't getting ported anytime soon.
There are some very bad, negative, and forbidden words I could use to describe that game that I will not use.
Oh man, you're scorching.
And another redundant attempt to recapture this one-hit wonder of a franchise.
Yeah.
Because Nintendo is incapable of releasing a smaller-scale arcade game.
Speaking of releasing a smaller scale arcade game on the Wii U, let's talk about the second Tekken game released on the Wii U.
Oh yeah, Pokken was pretty neat.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a Tekken game with Pokemon in it.
Yeah. It was like right when I was starting to get into Tekken, so I did think it was kind of cool. I kind of wanted there to be more Tekken-isms in it. It feels more like a Naruto fighter.
Yeah, it felt like a weird combination of Tekken and like an arena fighter.
Yeah.
I mean,
kind of a bit more okay with it, but just more Tekken. Just
wanting,
have a Ursa Ring versus Beartic.
yeah, wanting more is kind of the whole
Wii U.
shtick with Pokken in particular.
Yeah. Especially didn't help because of the time the Pokken Arcade was getting DLC that was not coming over, so we would just hear about it. The Japanese arcades were getting Pokken DLC, and it's like we're not getting that. So you could feel the game actively in the mid 2010s. Japan was getting more DLC for their arcade than a mainline Nintendo game. It's not like arcades are like dead in Japan, but they're reaching a lower point than they've been, especially around that time. So the fact that the arcade was getting DLC and the home console version wasn't,
It's honestly kind of pathetic.
it was another like slap in the dick. Like, yeah.
Sonic
Just
Lost
another-
World.
Sonic Lost World. I feel like we could talk about this one quite a bit. But for the sake of time, we both, about a year or two, played through Sonic Lost World well after the point. Well after Force has already been out, before Frontiers. So in that context, I enjoyed it a lot. I think it was pretty fun. The story dog shit. Before I even get anywhere, the story dog shit. I hate it. Poop. But the gameplay I thought was fun. I felt like it was a good blueprint to evolve the franchise, and seeing where Frontiers is, I do think that there is some influence in the mechanics. I think they took some of the lessons from Lost World, and it wasn't a total forgotten failure.
Sonic Lost World would have had good gameplay if it let you enjoy the core gameplay more.
Yeah, there's a lot of fundamental issues with Sonic Lost Worlds, but I think it knocks it out of the park more than it doesn't. It could have used a sequel and not have them completely change the gameplay style once again. But
yeah.
I'm not going to complain about Frontiers being where we're at. It's just that I wouldn't have minded a Lost World 2. And also just sell it on consoles that actually sold well. But it was part of this weird 3-game contract deal that Sega had with Nintendo. It's how we got the other game, which, by the way, neither of us have played, but we'd be remiss if we didn't mention Sonic Boom.
Yeah,
It wasn't even Nintendo's fault, but that was just another big, high-profile blunder for the Wii U to have. That one was not Nintendo's fault, but it certainly did not help the Wii U's reputation.
Sonic Boom, Rise of Lyric was the canary in the gold mine.
Yeah.
For both Sonic and the Wii U.
And on top of other big monumental failures, you might as well, Devil's Third, again, not Nintendo's fault necessarily, but just the fact that the biggest profile games on the console were all the fucking colossal failures, like, it's not good, you know? A console should not be defined by its biggest failures. And sadly, the Wii U kind of is. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
When you think about any other game system, besides maybe the Virtual Boy, the top 5 to 10 games should not mostly consist of crap or games that are ported. But when you think about the Wii U, like, the top 10 games, most of them are either ported to the Switch, or they suck dick. And Sonic Boom and Devil's Third are usually in the top 10 games you think about when you think about the Wii U. But moving on, let's talk about some stuff that's a little more positive, because we still have some negative games to talk about. Yoshi's Woolly World. That game is nice. I like it.
The game's nice. Yeah.
I thought about picking up the 3DS version, but I don't know. The game looks so nice on the Wii U. I kind of just wanted to play it on the Wii U. So that one's fun. Tropical Freeze. Everyone forgets this is a Wii U game. I forget it was a Wii U game because I didn't put it in our notes.
Yeah, that game is really, really good.
It's like one of the 2 games that lets you turn the gamepad off. which is objectively makes it like one of the best Wii U games. You can just fucking turn the gamepad off. Joe, you have not played this game, but you know its name. Tell me how you feel about Color Splash.
Like, okay. Color Splash was a game I knew I was going to detest if I played it. It's a splash of something, alright.
Only the color's not in the rainbow.
Yeah, color's not in the rainbow. And, God, I think it might have, like, the worst combat system ever made. A gutted story reliant on, like, okay, like, Paper Mario's always had quirky writing, but this was kind of the start of them really leaning into memes and self-aware jokes.
Yeah. It's better than Sticker Star's writing, because this actually has writing.
It has writing. So, yeah. Better than Sticker Star in that regard, but it was just the nail in the coffin, one that would show me, Paper Mario might as well be dead.
Yeah, I mean, Color Splash was seen as an improvement because you took Sticker Star, which was a literal pile of feces, but then you took Color Splash and you took a pile of feces, but you squirted some lemon on it.
You painted some shit.
Yeah. It's like Color Splash is not the worst thing. It was just a reaffirmation that the Paper Mario franchise was dead.
It was a good attempt at salvaging an unsalvageable formula.
Yeah. That's really the best way to say it. You burnt the souffle and you tried to class it up for the dinner. You burnt your meal and you tried to save it. You put some nice garnish on there, you made a nice salad, you got the breadsticks, but you already fucking burnt the souffle.
The roast
so
is
it's
ruined, but, you know,
yeah.
maybe if you disguised your cooking, the superintendent will still be impressed. Yeah, so those are my thoughts on Color Splash. Man, you know, we're in a desperate situation when Nintendo decides to actually care about porting its old games.
Yeah.
Case in point, the Virtual Console was pretty good this time, and they re-released 2 popular Zelda games.
Yeah. They actually had digital Wii games, which was pretty cool. But yeah. Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD. The big Zelda games for the Wii U. These are good games. They were being charged full price. It's kind of weird, but I don't know. Hey man, I'm not going to complain about more Twilight Princess, especially now Twilight Princess with super death hard mode, where you can stack 4 times damage. So, I mean, I'm not going to complain. Like, the game looks fantastic. Just not like, what was it, like 2015, 2016? It's like, bro, what the fuck is this? Yeah, it was like 2016, like less than a year before the fucking Switch was coming out in like a couple months. What are we doing here? But yeah, bro, they had nothing. They didn't have anything by this point. The console was dead. I forgot to put this in the notes, but I would be remiss if I did not talk about the most unfinished game, one of the most unfinished games Nintendo ever released. Because Nintendo just couldn't stop hurting me this generation. Mario Tennis Ultra Smash.
Oh god. I've never even so much as looked at that game for more than a minute at a time. That game's just sad.
That game's not finished.
Like, the sad state of Mario sports games now still somehow look immaculate compared to whatever the fuck that was.
Yeah, like those games are unfinished in a different way, where they keep rolling out content for like 3 months. This game is literally fucking unfinished.
And they
I don't
did
think
not do anything about it.
One court, they had character portraits were just recycled from like GameCube and Wii games. They didn't have original pictures for the fucking characters. I don't even know if they had original voice lines. This was an alpha of a game, and they probably just shit it out because they needed something to make money. It's fucking vaporware. Oh my god. We already kind of briefly talked about the mediocre third-party support, Batman. There was like one Madden game. That's like it. I can't. Yo, the fucking Rayman Legends debacle.
You know, it's the one situation where I kind of almost sympathize with Ubisoft.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, they said it was going to be exclusive to the Wii U. I kind of can't blame them for wanting to pull out on that deal.
I mean, it'd be alright if they didn't completely sabotage. Look, it's like, there was gonna be no, like, winners in the end. The fact that the Wii U version came out later, though? Like, what the fuck's up with that?
Yeah.
Like, it should have come out the same day. Why the fuck did it come out, like, months after the versions that were supposed to come out before?
Yeah.
That shit doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. That's why I had to say I kind of, sort of sympathize with them.
Can't get through a Wii U discussion, Joe, without talking about the greatest exclusive of all time.
We did get Meme Run.
Meme Run? I'm just remembering. Yo, we put a lot of hours into Meme Run because we were like in our early 20s, and that shit was ironically funny as fuck. Late teens, early 20s. And that was like the perfect age for us to be into Meme Run. I feel like Meme Run, we would probably... If Meme Run came out now on the Switch, we probably wouldn't even buy it. But at that particular age, and also on that particular ecosystem, like...
Yeah.
Meme Run, unironically, was one of the most exciting launches on that fucking console. What the hell else were you gonna play on the Wii U?
Yeah, what else was there in the Wii U in 2014 before Smash?
Yeah. I don't even think... They were drip-feeding the Virtual Console. They had trailers announcing new Virtual Console. Like, I remember the fucking Mega Man X Virtual Console trailer. It's like, bro... What the fuck are we doing here? Why are we doing this?
Why
Shouldn't it already be on the platform? Why are there less N64 games than on the Wii? Where are the Genesis games? To be fair, they did have GBA and DS, which is fucking baller.
Yeah.
You could finally play Mario 64 DS with the proper analog stick. That was Kino. There was no Pokemon, but look, I'm willing to live with that.
That's clear. That's not Nintendo's fault.
Yeah. Like, no, they did... I will accept that, but what the fuck? The Wii U is one of the few consoles you can't play Sonic 1 on.
My word.
Yeah, because the Genesis wasn't on that Virtual Console. I don't know what happened. Even Sega was pulling out of the fucking console. They weren't gonna put Sonic 1 on the Wii U.
They saw how Lost World and Boom did, and they just said, no, we're not going to taint Sonic 1 with the Wii U.
It would have been on the Wii U if they ported Sonic Generations.
Yeah.
Don't know why that didn't come out. They couldn't... Oh no, it's an old game. Bro, are you... That was like the... Could you just imagine? Why would they put Generations on the goddamn Wii U? The Wii U is just an Xbox 360 with a freaking tablet on it. Oh my god. Any other key software you want to kind of go over, Joe? Anything else?
Nothing else really comes to mind.
I mean, that came out near the end of the Nintendo Wii U. Oh, you mean a game that wasn't a Wii U game and eventually became the launch title for the next console? Because Nintendo fumbled the bag.
Oh wait, there is
so
actually
hard.
one notable game we forgot about.
What was it?
Mario Maker.
Oh yeah, Mario Maker. And admittedly, this version was not made antiquated by its sequel.
Yeah.
Because of all the dope amiibo costumes, and also a lot more customization. Mario Maker was, for a brief moment, the Wii U was trending.
Yeah.
People were excited about Mario Maker. People were making custom levels. It was big on YouTube. Admittedly, this was when YouTube... Oh yeah, another Nintendo thing. Remember Nintendo, what was it, the Creator Club or something?
Yeah. The creators program.
That whole debacle, that if you made Nintendo videos, you would get, like, copyright strikes if you weren't part of Nintendo's, like, program where you had to exclusively make Nintendo content. For example, like, Chuck Conroy and other big Nintendo YouTubers at the time, they could only make Nintendo game reviews and Nintendo content. Or Nintendo would not allow you to be monetized. There was a time period where you couldn't get monetized on YouTube without signing up for a company or some kind of, like, not to get too into the weeds about it, but that is another important fuck up in the Nintendo era of that time, was that Nintendo was making it very... There were a lot of YouTubers who, like, I remember Angry Joe, like, was, I'm not gonna talk about Nintendo games because of this whole creator system. Imagine if Mario Maker came out when people wanted to make videos about Nintendo. But Nintendo actively pissed on that opportunity with the stupid creator program shit. No other studio was doing that.
Some fucked up cult shit.
You could only talk about Nintendo games. Also, you could only talk about specific Nintendo games. There were games that you could not, like, cover. Bro, that was something else.
You're not supposed to talk about 38776.
You are not supposed to know about Wario World.
There is no Super Mario RPG in Ba Sing Se.
There's never been Chibi Robo. Park Patrol. Only at Walmart.
Oh, God.
Again, it's like Nintendo. They couldn't stop fucking... They had this huge Nintendo Wii penis that was like making them like a tripod, and they just kept tripping over it. That shit they just kept tripping over their big Wii penis. I don't know why I'm saying Wii penis when I could just say Wii and everyone would still get it's a penis.
The wiener.
Yeah, their wiener. Yeah. I don't know why they kept tripping over their wiener with stupid shit like this.
It's like Nintendo was like inflicted by some sort of karma ghost.
The same shit that caught Sony during the PS3. Same shit that caught Microsoft during the Xbox One.
Yo, that was a funny few years when Microsoft and Nintendo were just fucking up constantly.
Yeah. Back when PlayStation just did not have any competition.
Again.
Yeah. After they took their took their lumps from the PS3. Yeah. I mean, Nintendo's really come a long way with that. They definitely took their humble pie.
Console manufacturers not immediately falling to hubris after a successful console challenge.
It's gonna be really funny what happens with Nintendo when they drop their next machine.
I'm waiting for that day.
Whatever this comes out after, it better be a Steam Deck with fucking Joy-Cons, and that's it. But like good Joy-Cons.
Yeah, like I'm begging you, Nintendo, just release the same thing but better.
This shit's gonna have a fucking kaleidoscope and a smelloscope. This shit's gonna have a 3D printer attached to it.
So
I did say I was gonna talk about Amiibo.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk about Amiibo.
Yeah,
Amiibo fucking saved. Well, they didn't save, but they really... Well, I mean, they kind of did. They really helped keep Nintendo relevant. I was so excited buying Amiibo. Luckily, Amiibo came into my life at the exact moment my other main source of not having income anymore because of collector's obsession. When the Power Rangers toy line started to decline. Well, not decline. Alright, I don't have time to explain it, but basically after 2014, let's just say Power Rangers kind of lost me on me wanting to give them money for a good couple years.
Sounds like a super mega bummer.
So Amiibo came out at the exact right time for me to start buying them in, and it was fun, it was communal, it was social. I had a lot of fun collecting those figures. They were the perfect thing to take all my extra income. So I had all the Smash Amiibo very recently, and by recently I mean like 2 days ago. Sold a bunch of them, just because I was not... There's no reason for me to buy them anymore. But at the time, I didn't give a shit that they didn't do anything. It was just part of the hunt, it was part of the thrill. It made it fun to be a Nintendo fan. It was the thing I was actually giving Nintendo money for, and most people, there were so many people who did not own Wii U's who were buying Amiibo. Because they were just cool, little fucking figurines, a Nintendo dudes. NES crashed the GameStop website, Jigglypuff crashed the Target website.
Yeah, where else were you going to get a Marth figurine in 2014?
Yeah. Yo, we got a Captain Falcon figurine.
Yeah, you can buy F-Zero merchandise.
You got Mother 3 merchandise.
Like, alright, like, Dad can attest for me. I couldn't bloody stand the Toys to Life thing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, having some little Nintendo figures, yeah, that just, I fell for it. At least a little bit.
Dude, I loved the hunt. It was so fun. Calling different stores, driving to different stores. I will admit, they made it extra bullshit and unnecessarily difficult with the retail exclusives, and having retail exclusives launch the same day at different retailers, so we literally had to, like, drive to different stores, make sure they lined up at different times, and hope to God I could get some of those fucking figures. I think you had to, like, pass up on one of the figures or something so that a kid behind you could get it or something.
Yeah,
like we were at
I
that
gave
point.
up my Robin Amiibo ticket and gave it to a kid that was sad that he came late.
I'm sure he really enjoyed Codename Steam more with that Robin Amiibo. Hey man, if you're that kid at the, what was it, the East Brunswick Toys R Us, who was in that line with us, let us know.
Yeah.
We won't do anything for you, but we want to know if you're okay. Did you enjoy Robin? Bro, I remember importing the Reflay Amiibo, and there was a period of time where I kept calling him Reflay, out of forced habit of the Amiibo I bought.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely good times I associate with that era of Nintendo. Most of it, though, really has nothing to do with the actual software they released. But it was all supplemental, it was all external. Or it was the 3DS.
Yeah.
Very little of that actually came from the Wii U. I don't feel like talking about Miiverse very much, Joe. Do you want to talk about Miiverse a little bit?
I mean, I barely used it.
The most fun we had was the Miiverse stage in Smash.
That stage was kind of lit.
That stage was legendary. Oh my god. Didn't we get spoiled on a TV show or oh my god, remember when Star Wars was coming out and they spoiled like a Kylo Ren or something? Or they spoiled
Han Solo dies!
They spoiled Han Solo dies. During the fucking stage. Oh man, the Miiverse stage. I wish they'd bring that back. I kinda don't, but I kinda wish they did.
Like, out of all of Nintendo's flaccid attempts at avoiding mainstream social media from the 2010s, that stage in Smash...
That was lit as fuck.
That was... And the Splatoon lobbies were the biggest takeaways from it. I I'll never forget the memes that went around. Like some guy was playing Smash on that stage. They were like playing Ryu, and someone's Pony Sono was saying, "You go, Dad." I was like,
if you want some good laughs, if you want to have a real time capsule, go find some old Smash Wii U Miiverse stage footage, and just remember what that time was like in our lives.
of course, the most iconic one for me will always be this picture of Goku waving to the crowd and saying, "See you next game."
Oh my god, there was some great stuff. Some characters you just couldn't use because you were just getting horrible things. Like, I don't think you could use Diddy Kong on that stage because they were just saying disgusting shit. Terrible things. Terrible things. Terrible things. But it was a great time. But even better times were set to come. See how I saved it into a transition? Because now we're going to talk about what did Nintendo learn from the Wii U? Moving on to the Switch.
Surprisingly, they learned a lot.
Yeah. Like, you need to launch with a good game on your console. They took so long on Zelda for Wii U, and it became Zelda Breath of the Wild for Switch as a launch title, day and date with the Wii U version, which at that point was just a consolation.
They went from a walking L of the Wii U to immediately starting the next generation with an industry-defining game.
Yeah, dude, I bought a Switch on launch because Breath of the Wild got me so hyped. Everyone was so hyped. That shit, the Switch was like the new hotness. You could not get a Switch for months. And I know because I worked at GameStop, and the only reason I got a freaking Switch is because I was there at work the one day you could pre-order it. And I knew. I was telling people, you better keep your eye out for the Switch because Nintendo's only letting them do. Nintendo went back to their classic limited supply. Because that's another weird little thing. You could actually get the Wii U at launch.
Yeah.
Like, they were remarkably oversupplied on that one, and I think Nintendo, on top of many things, they figured out the right sauce this time to hype the console up, get the right marketing out there. We had to wait 6 months until the console was ready to release to get our first trailer and the name. But it worked. It worked amazing. The Switch was a certified, like, phenomenon. Yeah. Everyone wanted one. No one could get it. They recaptured the Wii audience. And, well, not the Wii audience necessarily, but they recaptured a whole new audience of people. That 1-2 punch of Breath of the Wild followed by Mario Kart the next month. They had this year-long program, or not program, but like basically every month they're releasing a brand new like first-party title. Basically every month.
Splatoon 2, Mario Odyssey,
ARMS. Mario Rabbids wasn't first-party, but it basically counts. So, but the point is, like, every month for like a whole year they were releasing a one after another title. So that, you know, you had something to play, and, you know, by the end of the year, by Christmas, you know, whether you're a RPG gamer or whether or not, I think Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, or was that the year after? I don't remember. It's not really relevant. Alright, regardless, you know, there was something basically for everybody. Zelda, Mario, all that stuff. Like, the Wii U, by its Christmas season, again, well, releasing in March, I think, was a really unique strategy, but it actually, I think, really helped them out, give them that full year to, like, really build themselves up, you know, hype themselves up, get that initial surge, and then by the time it's Christmas, they can really lean into the marketing.
Yeah, they actually released a system when there was minimal competition and actually took advantage.
Yeah. Because we were also starting to reach the point where people were starting to get impatient for the next-gen consoles. People wanted the PS5, people wanted the next Xbox. We were getting held over with, like, other consoles, like the One X and the PS4 Pro. So it's like, this is the right time for people to want a new console. a lot of people like me completely missed out on the Wii U, so for us it was like the first time in a decade we bought a Nintendo console. And so there were people who were nostalgic. It hit both the nostalgia for people who wanted a brand, cool big new Zelda. It was nostalgic for people who had a Wii. Keep in mind, if you were 7 when the Wii came out in 2006, by the time 2017 came out, you would have been like 18. You would have been an adult.
Yeah.
So you would have been like, yo, I remember the Wii when I was a kid. There's a new Zelda. There's a new console, a new Mario Kart. I didn't get the Wii U. I didn't know the Wii U was a thing. Fucking 13 to 23. Point is, like, it was such a long period of time that it was the perfect nostalgia. It recaptured everything. Nintendo knocked it out of the park with the marketing on the Switch. They appealed to adults again. They didn't have any, they didn't have to talk about how my Switch has been upgraded. There was none of that crap. It was adults, but it was everybody.
Yeah.
Nintendo actually learned a lesson.
Yeah.
They had Bomberman. How could it not perform well? They had third-party support. Skyrim was coming out in the first couple months. They had Doom coming out. Like, people actually...
For a while there, the Switch was getting new games.
Yeah. It was, like, exciting because people wanted to get stuff on it. I mean, the Switch is still getting games. Bear in mind where we're at now is, like, a very different point. But it was exciting even just to get those old games. If you were a Nintendo person, you didn't play Skyrim. Let's say you're one of, like, the 5 people that only owned a Wii U. You could play Skyrim, you could play Doom. So, like, the Switch worked for everybody because people who stayed loyal to Nintendo might not have played these games on their consoles. For the people who didn't, you can play them again on the go. Or, just people who missed out on them have a way to play them portably. Because we were in a pre-Steam Deck world, in a pre-game streaming world. The Switch came out at just the right time. Any later, and I could definitely see there being concern, or I could definitely see game streaming getting in its way. But, yeah. Point is, Nintendo, they figured it out, they released the console at the right time, with the right marketing, with the right games, and we are in a very interesting world now.
Yeah.
We're complaining that we just want something else to buy. We want a new console because we've had all our fun with the Switch. The Switch was great for the years it came out. But, yeah. I hope that Nintendo's next console does not, it looks more like a Switch and less like a Wii U. That big-ass fucking Fisher-Price controller, that thing was a pain in the dick. You have bigger hands, so maybe you weren't as bothered by the Wii U gamepad. Oh, yo, can we just talk for a second? That fucking... What was the deal with the 2 analogs or something? It was dumb as hell. 2 analogs on the top for the Pro controller? That was stupid. You can only use the GameCube controllers for one game. They didn't have GameCube support? Alright, now I'm just getting into the weeds. But, like, point is, I hope that Nintendo takes more lessons from the Switch going forward.
Yeah. I don't think the Wii U is the kind of mistake they want to make a second time.
Nintendo might not be on top right now, but, Titans can fall.
We've seen
One bad move can completely topple an industry. Can completely topple
the hierarchy. The console wars are an ancient, turbulent dance.
Especially now in the streaming age, in the digital only age, Nintendo's going, whatever Nintendo does for this generation coming up is the last time they're going to be able to do anything like the old days. Even then, there's an argument to be made that whatever they're going to do is somewhat antiquated in terms of production and release and physical media and all that stuff. So this is like, in some ways, the last hurrah, whatever Nintendo's next console is going to be.
Yeah.
So, could be Nintendo's last console, and that's not a Nintendo, but with the way things are going, it's very likely that we're going to be in the next 5 or 10 years without traditional consoles. So, this could be Nintendo's last hurrah for a major console, because 5 or 6 years from when this next thing comes out, it'll be 2030. Who knows what we're going to be doing, but yeah. Let's hope that Nintendo ends their legacy on their terms and not on the industry's terms.
Yep. It was really nice to gather around and talk about Project Cafe one last time.
Bro, why the fuck was there not a Metroid game on this thing?
You got the Metroid Zero Mission and Fusion on Virtual Console. That's all you're gonna get.
Oh, the last thing the Wii U ever had relevance for was when the Wii U, when Metroid Dread came out. Sales skyrocketed for Fusion and for Zero Mission. Like, they were breaking charts on the Wii U, which, I mean, to be fair, wasn't that difficult in 2021, but it was still funny to see everyone going back, digging up their Wii U so they could play this game because of Nintendo's inability to offer those games otherwise. So,
Well, that's a discussion for another day.
for here, we'll leave you guys with that. What'd y'all think of the Wii U? Do you own a Wii U? I bought a Wii U a couple years ago, just to play some of the oldies. But, yeah. What is your favorite Wii U game? I hope you guys will join us back at the table. This has been Dan.
And this has been Joe.
Have a good one.